In this express tutorial, we will learn how to connect Visual Studio with GitHub. First, we will create a GitHub account online. Then we will create a local Git repository to host the files in your local hard drive. Then we will install GitHub extensions for Visual Studio. And finally, we will sync a Visual Studio solution with GitHub. So the first step is to create an account in GitHub. This is how the GitHub portal looks like after the account creation. As you can see, there are no repositories created at this point. You would see repositories in this section. For the time being, we're going to leave this as is, but we will come back later. Now we're ready to connect Visual Studio to GitHub using Team Explorer. As we can see, the GitHub connection is not available. So we'll need to download the NuGet package. We go to Tools, Extension and Updates, then we select Online, and we download GitHub extensions for Visual Studio. Once downloaded, we need to install it. After it's installed, we need to restart Visual Studio. Now that Visual Studio has restarted, we can see that the GitHub connection is available. Now that we're inside Visual Studio, we will go to Team Explorer, and then we will go to Connections. And inside the GitHub, we will log in to our portal. Now that we're logged in, you can see that the sign out button is enabled. After we log in into GitHub from Visual Studio, we need to create a local repository in order to host the solution files locally. Now that we have created a local repository, we can check the file system to make sure that the folder was created in the correct place. Now that the local repository has been created and we have checked that the file system has the correct folders, we will create a new solution and add it to the local repository. We go to double click on my local repository, click on New, and for this example, we're going to create a simple website. We're going to call it website 1. We're going to check create new Git repository. We're going to click browse, and we're going to create a subfolder. We're going to call this websites, and you will see later on why you want to create subfolders before creating a new solution. And we hit OK. For this example, we're going to choose MVC. It really doesn't matter at this point. Now that the website has been created, we're going to just briefly check to make sure everything is fine in the Solution Explorer. And we're going to save the solution. And now we're going to go back to Team Explorer, and we're going to go into Changes. And we're going to enter the user information that is going to be used to track changes in the GitHub portal itself. So we're going to save the user that will be used to track changes. And as you can see here are all the changes that are available for my first commit, of course. And so I'm going to call this my first commit. I'm going to hit save. And that has been committed to my local repository at this point. Now that the first commit has been executed locally, I want to show you how the version control is taking place. So let's open any of these pages, and let's just make a change. I'm just going to put another period in here. As you can see, the red icon is basically saying that there's been an edit. Something has changed. So we are going to save it, and we can actually commit right from here if we wanted to. And this is my second change. I'm going to hit commit all. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the portal. I'm going to click refresh here, and as you can see, there are no repositories being created at this point. And we're going to go back to Visual Studio, and you can see here that there's a sync button, right? Remember, we're already logged in into GitHub, so if we click on the sync button, it is going to give us the ability to publish to GitHub. We're going to get on Get Started, and this is the name of the local folder that we created previously. I'm just going to click Publish. And it seems like everything has been published. So let's go back to the portal and hit refresh one more time. Oh, and there it is. There's my local GHub folder. I'm going to click in here. As you can see, now I have the websites/website folder. And the reason why you want to do this is because if I wanted to create several solutions inside this GitHub repository, if I create subfolders, now I can separate them inside a single GitHub repository. So if I wanted to create a website 2, I would put them inside website 2, right? And so by doing this, you would see in here a website 2 and a website 3, and that's the best way to separate local and portal repositories, or how to separate solutions using a single repository both locally and online. Thank you for watching this Express tutorial. I try to release 3 to 4 videos a week. If you're interested in seeing more Express tutorials, look for the YouTube subscribe button below. I also welcome you to check out my social media presence.